Good evening. Today we will talk about the Yakan people. So, they are one of the Muslim peoples in the Philippines. Collectively, they are identified as Moro. So, they live in the Sulu archipelago, mainly in the island of Basilan or the southern part of Zamboanga Peninsula. So, they speak a Malaya-Polynesian language. They call it the Bisayakan, which belongs to the Austronesian languages, similar to the Sama and Bajau languages. Unlike their neighbors, such as the Bajau, Sama, and Tausubs, who are seafaring people, the Yakans are mainly inland dwelling agriculturalists. So, just a brief story lang about them, no? So, they are the original inhabitants of Basilan. They may once inhabited the whole island because lang of several factors like political upheavals. They transferred from Basilan to Mindanao mainland. Their social organization, instead of being clustered into villages, Yakan houses are scattered among the fields or in the countryside. Their houses are single room structured, meaning there are no private rooms for women. Today, some Yakan build houses closer to one another. They even build modern houses, better houses, especially those who can afford. In terms of domestic unit, the most common unit is the conjugal family, which we all know na it consists of two parents, the men and the women, and their children, also one or more children. So, inheritance. The Quran says that a daughter's inheritance shall be only half as of the sons. However, in the what do you call this, in the Yakan setup, they divide the property equally between the children. Socialization. Today, a lot of Yakan children goes to public schools na. Though naa Japon still who attends Quranic schools. Marriage practices. Since they are Muslims, so monogamy is the norm, but polygamy is tolerated. Groom's family have to pay bride price and is responsible with all the gastos sa wedding. Divorce is allowed also in the Yakan setup. Whoever wants it may just initiate. Last would be their division of labor. There are no specific division of labor, especially in kanang agricultural works bitaw, kasi both men and women can do it. So, however, the crafts are gender specific, smiting for men and weaving for women.
So let's move on to economic subsistence of the Yakan. So Yakan are mostly of them are agriculturists who practice dry farming and water buffalo drown plows. So their main crops are the rice, the kamote, the cassava, and the other crops, the maize, eggplants, yams, beans, and sugar canes, and etc. So just like we've said that Yakans are agriculturists, they are good at making their land fertile again by following the field rotation. So field rotation, it is uh, their practice that they plant their main crops in the field, and after that it is harvested, it will be followed by the other crop, and after it is harvested also, they will leave the land for a couple years for the fertilization again. So Yakan were also good at domesticating animals, but due to war, they barely domesticate animals in the present. So Yakan seldom go to fishing, and few of them only engage in industrial arts. So Yakan are also engaged in trading, but presently they sell their product. And now let's go to their political organization. So there are two sorts of political organization among Yakans, the traditional and the modern organization. So the traditional, it is centered by the customs, and at the same time by the laws, or the laws of our Philippine Constitution. But the modern one, it is solely bounded by the laws of the Republic of the Philippines, and and hence that Yakan, are the laws of Yakan, I should say, is inspired by the teachings and principles of Islam, and that is the Sharia law. So Yakan also did not practice rahaship or datuship. They instead form a small political unit which is centered by the local mosque, headed by the imam or the Muslim leader and council. Thus, its membership is totally voluntarily.
We have the arts. Yakan are known to be the finest weavers in the Philippines and the entire Southeast Asia. They use the backstrap loom to make a fabric, and these fabrics are made up of pineapple, abaca, and banana threads. Fabrics are inspired by Islamic sacred geometry and their lifestyle. Patterns such as pasok labong, bunga sama, kaban budi, bunggang kitan, o kilagbag, palipatang, and bunga dash sama. They also have set of modern designs such as kena kena, dawen dawen, pene mata mata, and kabang budi. Yakan women are the one who made the simik or traditional dress of Yakan that comprises of shawal, saputangan tiid, Yakan pinalantupan, badyo Yakan, pagalbato, and bantawi. Their traditional clothes are only used for special occasions. Pamansak, a Yakan term meaning to dance, that consists of armed movements. The pamansak can be performed with or without janggay. We have the pamansak lila, pamansak dende, and pamansak mi karendihan. And the most popular among the Yakan tribal dance is the tumahi, that portrays the bravery of a man to protect his pride and family from the enemy. Next is we have the Labi-Lamian Festival. It's an annual festivity held every last week of June in Lamitan City. The word Lami-Lamihan means merrymaking, and the said festival showcases the rich culture of the Yakan and honors the founder of Basilan, Pedro Javier Cuevas. Tumaik Festival is also an annual celebration that held every last week of March in Isabela City. They celebrate peace and harmony among the Yakan, Tausug, Muslims, and Christians. And they showcase their growing fabric industry. Next, we have the face decoration, tanya-tanya to design, bulakan, painting, and tengkuleyang batakan, or a bamboo stick used to create circles, spots, and patterns in their skin. Next, we have the Yakan food delicacy, dulang, pinalam, Japanyang pipis are among the famous and delicious delicacy of the Yakan. Next, we have the Yakan traditional weapons. They have punyal, the taming, bujak, and sakil, the bangkug, and the pira, or their traditional sword. Yakan musical instruments. Instruments are percussion dominated. They are the kwintangan kayo, gabang, agong, and the tanggogo and pirigayan kwintangan are both musical ensembles. And they also have the tungtungan. Next is the belief system. Yakan are Muslim. They believe that the world is divided into two, the Darul Islam and the Darul Harb. Fakir or Imam is the religious leader, and their parish membership is totally voluntary, no bound by kinship. They have what they call the jihad, a war waged by the Muslims to protect the Darul from foreign invasion. Next is religious practitioners. The Imam have three practitioners, the Habib, the Bilal, and Tabib, in accordance with Islam. They have also pre-Islamic practitioner, the Bahasa or the Shaman. They also have the Ulama, or the Ulam, a religious person who is teaching the Quran reading. Superstitious belief, Yakan believe in marriage spirits. They also believe in Surga and Narka, and follow a strong eternal code of honor. For them, they believe that human being is the highest form of animal. Therefore, man is entitled to have a dignified death. Ceremonies, Yakan follow the Muslim calendar. and they also celebrate the birthday of Prophet Muhammad. And the most important celebration, the Haruraya, a culmination of fasting after the month of Ramadan. They also have tree budding ritual in the second month, and the annual Islamic celebration in the 7 months of the year. Rice ceremonial, Imam's benediction is vital for the rice cultivation. The first seed must be done by the Imam in order to have a bountiful harvest. Medication, Fakir or the Imam or both of them perform the ritual, but in a different way. They also use fruits and herbal medication. Greeting manners, guest who wants to mingle the Yakan tribe must join the Mangupa or the betel nut chewing ritual that symbolizes the hospitality and strengthens social ties among the Yakan. Death and afterlife, the burial must take place within 24 hours. After that, the soul starts excursion to different certain spots, like crossing the sea, which takes 100 days. Nowadays, the death burial has been abbreviated. Next is social conflict or social control and conflict. Clan conflict or rido is common to the Yakan community, and the primary causes are the issue of land ownership and family feud. Ways of settling the conflict is through mediation and amicable settlement. Due to the presence of the armed conflict between the military forces and leftists, no, it creates or it results to poverty, poor health, and poor security that continue to plague the island. Therefore, many Yakan left the region to settle in other parts of the Philippines, like in Zamboanga City and in Malaysia. Thank you.